Hey people, Indrid here, PV3 Faction War. This is Quest Redemption and Space Marines versus Eldar. Blue Space Marine team, Farseer U3 is an Apothecary support hero fighting in melee combat by default. Begins with a heal and a passive health regeneration aura. The Ultramarines DLC alongside a couple of Force Commanders, Sparkky with Dark Angels DLC recolored and Orconero with some Blood Angels. Elite scheme. These guys are offense heroes fighting in melee, can also tank, disrupt and support. Red Eldar, Blitzkrieg is a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat, some powerful disruption and support. Alongside GQs with a Farseer, support hero fighting in melee, some powerful buffs and control, same Han elite scheme. And rounding off the teams is Anter with a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat. Great for capping and harassing with some powerful control. Has not got any other units going yet, Anter, for some reason. Back to the mid. There's a contested power point, and it's kind of the staging area to get to other sides of the map. So you see a lot of action here early game. Attacks running from the Farseer. Attacks running from Howling Banshees with those power weapons. Force Commander in amongst some Guardians though, and he's messing these guys up pretty badly. That special just killed two of them as they retreated towards him. Triple cap very early for the Eldar. Anter grabbing the Space Marines' natural victory point using his teleporting shenanigans. His Guardians having to run off the south, and they're going straight into Rangers here, Anter. Shotgun scouts on the prowl to get their VP back, I suppose. The Warp Spider continues to decap things in enemy territory there. Very annoying for the Space Marines to deal with. Warlock doing a good job, as good as he could. Now forced off, but look how much ground they got here with double Howling Banshees in play too. Gonna chop down the power node. Guardians backing off to get some of these contested points. There's a contested wreck point. The power is already theirs. Good start on map for the Eldar thanks to the Warp Spider shenanigans and the push in the north from Blitzkrieg. Rangers also for GQs, it's double Rangers for Anter. And Guardians on the field for Blitzkrieg. Double Banshees, double Guardians. Gonna be interesting to see. Maybe they'll get the channeling runes to help the Banshees out on that Warlock. Warp Spider continues to be a pain in the arse. Teleports away finally, but does not retreat. Oh, there he goes. He's retreating now. Double shotgun scouts here for Farseer. Farseer U3 is a very strange name. Sergeant. Yep, Sergeant's up for those scouts. So now they can chuck grenades. Well, one of them can. And also spot sneaky Rangers. Speaking of sneaky, we've got elite training scouts here that can sneak around. 366 to 500. Banshees coming in. There's a lot of shotguns though, ladies. Might want to back off. You're not welcome here. They're out of there. Blitzkrieg calling the two top. Because indeed there were two players top. Sparkky went up there with his funky blue Dark Angel Marines. What's going on south? Triple Rangers for Anter. Did not keep his Guardians alive either. Who needs them when I've got sniper things? Getting a couple of shots there on attacks. Shoot and move. Shoot and move. Force Commander levels up. Killed one with his bolt pistol. They're trying to get a model off those tacks. Can't quite manage it so far. GQs also double Rangers. Force Commander's in them now though. Warp Spider teleports in to tie up the Tactical Marines. Force Commander of Sparkky gets shot down by Rangers. Those were GQ's Rangers. 360 to 479. Eldar need to bounce back. Space Marines kind of swept across the north and came mid. Warlock with a good special. Double Banshees alongside. Any war gear for this guy? No war gear for this guy yet. Apothecary with a customized Stormbolter. Can use full auto on the Warlock's face to shut down his movement and abilities with a stun. Didn't use it there. Didn't have the energy, I don't think. Banshees took a lot of damage, but they're out safely. Grenade. It's a decent grenade. They chucked it and then ran. 360 to 444. Double cap here for the Space Marines. Apothecary falls. And that's Fourth Commander still down. So maybe we'll see Lariman's Blessing to get the Apothecary and the Force Commander back. spending some red from the Apothecary's global abilities. Blitzkrieg goes tier 2. More Rangers for Antair. They got quad Rangers up, and they may have just let those Guardians die to free up pop and upkeep to get more Rangers rolling. We'll see how it goes. Rangers are a detector, so they can spot these scouts when they're trying to sneak around. And the scouts can't spot them because they don't have their sergeants down there. They're still targeting the attacks, I think, making them run back towards the north. Double Banshees and a bunch of Guardians got onto the power with the Ranger support. Bashed a bunch of it, got a couple of gens and the node down. Force Commander barely makes it out for Orconero. Assault Marines coming in play though. Death Company fellas from Orconero's Blood Angels. 340 to 432. Shotgun blast for the Banshees. They need to set that up a bit more with the kinetic pulse of the Rangers, I think. Or maybe run your hero in first to try and draw the shotgun blast. Because Banshees are going to struggle to, when they're set up like this, when they're ready for them, they might struggle to get in. More Rangers for Antair. Tier 2 for GQs. Blitzkrieg just hit it. And we got Assault Marines up for all 3 Space Marine players. 324, 432. Warlock backs off towards the power to try and defend it. Are they going to push for it? Yes, Flamers on the way. Flamers make short work of generators, so they're often used to bash power. But they can also set, you know, units on fire pretty well, especially if they try to hide in cover. Down goes one gen. Here comes the defense. Banshees start getting their Exarchs for GQs and Blitzkrieg though. Then they all have Exarchs, don't they? Blitzkrieg has a mark of an aspect of strength and an aspect of fleetness. This Exarch is on the way. Assault Marines jumping into a really bad spot, having to get the hell out of there. Chopping them up on retreat are the Banshees. Holy crap. How have they not dropped a model here? Wow. 88 hit points on 3 models. Those guys jumping in to help them out. And they're now having to retreat. That was very lucky of those Assault Marines not to drop a model there. Not to drop 2. Eldar streaming through the north. It's a good grenade. Only hits a single Banshee. She's alright. We'll call her Brenda. A tough old girl. Now they're on to the power. We should be able to bash it pretty quickly with all these Banshees to spread them out onto the gens. And they're capping the VP, having a little meeting while they do so. The Warlock and the Farseer there. Warp Spider Exarch down in the south. Assault Squad having to retreat. And Antair with yet more Rangers up. Who needs tier 2? Orconero goes tier 2. There's Distortion Field on those Banshees from the global abilities of the Warlock. Reduces the range damage that they take. Assault Squad in on the Rangers as you'd expect. They want to get on the Rangers and avoid the Banshees. You know what? They only got the node and 1 gen. I thought they'd get more than that. The Space Marines came back out pretty quick. Pretty quick. Did they overextend a bit there? I feel like those Guardians definitely could have got away and stayed in play there. They kind of just stood there taking shots from GQs. Warlock with the Cloak of Shadows now. Good way to help get the Banshees into combat. Although they're going to be spotted by the Scouts, they're still going to have some damage resistance from being infiltrated and partially revealed. Apothecary level 2 goes for the VP. They couldn't maintain and stabilize up there the Eldar. Uh-oh. Force Commander goes down. I guess as soon as the Banshees like start firing with their pistols, they're going to be revealed anyway, and they'll get that partially revealed damage resistance then. Tier 3s for Blitzkrieg and GQs. There's the tier 2 for Antair, having filled up their roster with Rangers. We'll see how this goes. Maybe Orconero will get a Dreadnought up or a Razorback or something. Looks like there's some back and forth in the chat. Banshee's in there with a really good war shout. Suppressed all those guys. Apothecary trying to help out. But might be under threat himself here. Doesn't have purification rights or anything. So those power melee kicks from the Howling Banshees, and they take him out. 288 to 373. Kicking off in the south, is it? Looks like GQs is supporting down here. Now there's all those rangers. It's going to be very, very annoying for Orconero to deal with this. They're getting the Dreadnought up. But of course, those shortfalls can be picked up by our allies. They can get some anti-vehicle up. They're both in tier 3 in really good time. Might see a fire prism soon from GQs. Having to run from the rangers. Did they get the storm shield? No, I see a bolt pistol there. Just got repurchased. Back towards the northwestern natural power of the Space Marines. They're on it again. Blitzkrieg's been on it pretty quick. Oh, Warlock's still here. What's he up to? Now has the Witchblade of Kernus to threaten his Assault Marines really badly when they jump in. If the double Banshees wasn't threat enough, there's tier 2 for Brotherly and tier 2 for Sparkky. Pretty late on their tier 2s. I mean, Seer Council are up before Sparkky gets tier 2. They got their power bashed a lot, I guess. Dreadnought is in play though for Orconero. 457 to 370. There's that wrist-mounted flamer doing work. Can it get a hit though? Can it get a hit? Gets an Emperor's Fist in there. Now, all of a sudden, Assault Cannon. Can he get one more burst on that guy? They're not retreating. GQs either wants to throw them away for pop, or they've forgotten about them, I guess. One of those. Rangers. He only killed a single scout with that. 6 Rangers, and he only killed a single scout. For the Emperor up on the Tactical Marines, global ability of the Force Commander. These guys need to be very careful. They have Dreadnought support, and all the Rangers run. All the Rangers run. They didn't want to risk getting barraged, I guess. Back to the north, 250, 370. Wraithlord on the way for Antair. That would be very good counter-initiation for the Assault Marines that jump in. Are all the heroes up? No, Apothecary is still down. Should be easily revivable. Oh, looks like Sparky's saying resing now. 250, 370, 1-to-1 cap. North is red, but Eldar aren't the best at stabilizing and defending a position. They typically dart in and out with quick attacks, applying pressure that way, getting onto power and getting in around their opponents and stuff. Warlock has to flee. Space Marines, on the other hand, very, very good at stabilizing positions with their very tough infantry and support. Here comes that Wraithlord. Has a Bright Lance shoulder mounted, doing some work on that Dreadnought. 236 to 370. Special attack isn't useful though, Mr. Wraithlord. Misses. Big swing and a miss. Banshees are going for the VP. I guess they've already used their fleet, or you'd expect them to be running up there. Sacred Standard Force Commander for Sparkky. Rangers having a go though. Having to retreat. Autarch jumping in too. And then knocks over the Force Commander. Look at her go. Bad fight though. It's a bad fight. Assault Squad jumping forward. Oh, just to get the melter, then they need to be very careful. 236, 361. They have done some good damage to this Wraithlord. Missile launch attacks getting shots in. Maybe the Rangers can focus them. Oh wow, down goes that Force Commander, right? Another shot in. Now they are having to retreat. They got a 40% damage buff because the Force Commander is downed with the Sacred Standard. Space Marines holding the north for now though. Seer Council, massive threat to the Assault Marines. Can they finish them? A squad of Warlocks with power weapons, and they do indeed finish them. They can leap into combat, and they provide a 15% range damage resistance aura. They themselves benefit from it. You can see that blue aura there. 500 hit points per model there. Tougher than you'd think to take out quickly. Shotguns will help. Razorback weighing in with some ranged fire as well. Did they drop a model? They did drop one model. And GQs is out of there. Not sure why didn't it stay in play with the Farseer and those Guardians. Could have maybe backed off. Use that Eldar mobility to back off sometimes. So you can hit from like a different angle or wait for allies. And here's Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg has an avatar on the way to the north. Back towards the south though. Wraithlord is under threat. There's another melter. It's not enough to finish it. But there's another melter. That's also not enough. They're 160, aren't they? Yeah. Or 150 down to... They're going to melee it down with chainswords. There we go. They get it. 2, 3, 6, 3, 18. Eldar back on the north now. Fire Prism on the way for GQs. Tier 3 for Brothery. How's the Dreadnought doing? Got half an XP bar, getting some repairs. Force Commander levels to 4 for Orconero. No war gear. Does not want to try and get the Storm Shield, I guess. Could be useful against all those Rangers. Or just like teleport to pack Thunderhammer, I guess would be useful, but also quite expensive added together. We've got a webway. It's not telling me who it belongs to. It's probably Blitzkrieg's, right? It might be GQ's. It's a strange place to put it. There's another one right on the VP, another strange place. It should be like up here somewhere. Much more likely to be seen in this more central area. Picking off in the mid. Ortark with her spear getting stuck in there. Was it like 65 power melee or something? Yep, around about that. Rangers getting shotgunned and grenaded, maybe? Couldn't quite get away from it. A couple of them died. Warp Spider Exarch with fully loaded war gear, power blades, enhanced warp jump generator, and improved targeters. That's a really good barrage. That killed 3 or 4 Rangers, I think. Trying to tie it up, and power blades helping as well with some heavy melee damage. Speaking of heavy melee damage, we have a Farseer with a Singing Spear. Armor of Assyrian and Spirit Stones for the big Spiritual Rights heal. Spider teleporting straight onto those Tactical Marines. That was really quick. Good Merciless Strike though from the Assault Squad before running another Assault Squad coming in. Can they get another good Merciless Strike? It's decent. But they are overwhelmed here. They had 4 the Emperor on them too, and wow, they got wrecked by that Fire Prism shot. Seer Council as well. These ranges are really low. Tier 3 for Orconero. Brothery is there as well. Barrage. Trying to get those Seer Council, I think. Ortark's on it, just to tie it up so it can't shoot that Assault Cannon. Fire Prism, can it get it? There it is. Now it needs to back off because there's missile launch attacks here. Well done, the Ortark, holding it up like that. Because that Assault Cannon would have wiped out some Rangers and stuff. It was just allowed to fire. Able to tank it with her shield up there. Oh wow, dead stuff. Dead things. Orconero having a rough time. Lost their missile attacks that they had. North is still red for the Eldar. 170, 296. Both the naturals are blue though. Thanks to Orconero's Force Commander, who's now trying to chainsword a Fire Prism. You go, buddy. There's tier 3 for Anter. A lot of players like skipping over tier 2s, eh? In fact, did we see any tier 2 units aside from a Razorback? Oh, we saw an Ortark, I suppose. Seer Council. It's a really bad fight for those Assault Marines, especially when the Farseer is there to throw Guide on the Seer Council. Can they kill him? Looks like they can't. Scouts in retreat path. Gonna take some hits. But they're okay. What's going on in the north? There's the Avatar of Cain. Powerful melee combatant that provides some awesome auras to nearby allied infantry. Razorback getting some repairs. Don't really have much in the way of anti-vehicle, do they, the Eldar? They've got the Fire Prism. Oh, there's another Fire Prism on the way. And the Avatar certainly anti-vehicle if we can reach stuff. Another Fire Prism, another Avatar, another Seer Council. Orconero's now got a Force Commander Terminator, but... Oh, we've also got some Terminators up for Brothery, but Eldar looking really strong. Really strong. Grenade on the Scouts. They duck inside of the Razorback to avoid it. Avatar providing awesome support for the Banshees. giving them suppression immunity, as well as some damage resist and damage buffs, I believe. That was a rear armor hit. 138 to 277. Eldar just going to keep piling it on here with more big tier 3 units hitting the field. Orconero trying to recover, got some tacks up by a drop pod. See it on the left of your screen there. Assault squad trying to finish off the Farseer. Couldn't quite get it. Buffed up by this Sacred Standard Force Commander of Sparkky. And they apply some pressure here. I mean, there's a Seer Council coming in, maybe not. For the Emperor on the Assault Marines again. But now they have to fight a Seer Council and an Autarch, which is providing further buffs. Look how quickly they wiped out Ranger shots going in as well. That was painful. Very, very painful. Avatar taking missile shots casually, just standing there. There's a Wailing Doom. And a freaking decent Wailing Doom it was. Banshee's soaking up some damage pretty well. And there's the concede. Did he? I think he just used the warp throw, the Warlock there. Level 3. Had a level 3 Apothecary for Brotherly. Level 3 Force Commander for Sparkky with a power sword at the end. Orconero with that Terminator Force Commander. I had Lightning Claws at the end. He had enough of this Seer Council and stuff. Lightning Claws were in. Warlock level 3, level 6 Farseer, and a level 3 Warp Spider Exarch. With all those Rangers, maybe the Storm Shield would have been the way to go for Orconero. Storm Shield into a Dreadnought, into a Razorback, maybe. Maybe. And there you have it. Big thanks to these players for taking part in the faction war. Not sure who sent this one in, or who organised it, or if it was even organised. Maybe it just happened. Maybe it was just a happy accident. But it was a fun one. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.